was invited by Mrs. Mullah Verdi to a conference she had in Iran for women in sustainable development. And I went there to Iran. I went to the conference with her, and it was really good. We had dinner, a big dinner, having a lot of people. And then suddenly, on my way back to the airport, after I finished the 2 days conference, I was going back to the airport. A car came. It was a civilian car, and civilian people went down and they took me hostage. They kidnapped me on the way. They blindfolded me and they took me. I didn't know where or anything. I was just went. They changed my clothes into blue clothes and they put me in a cell, 2x4 cell, and they told me that someone went to Beirut with my passport, so now I am a host. I am kidnapped, and nobody knows where I am, and I should not wait for anybody to come and ask for me. In my interrogation period, it was very hard. I was being interrogated late nights and long time, and being asked to answer questions that I don't know anything about, asking me they asked me a question, then they asked me a completely different question to another issue, tell me to answer this question and this question and link them. It's like they're playing a game. In fact, they didn't have anything solid. They were just taking pictures from Facebook and this, and asking me who is this, who is that, which was nothing important for me. And it was a very hard time during interrogation because they were like, they get clear when you don't answer, they walk you, you are blindfolded, they hold you from the back and they walk you, and then they push you into a wall. You hit a wall when you're walking because you don't see anything, and they do on purpose. And then they tell you, sorry, we missed, we did not pay attention, and you entered the wall. And this all kind of stupid things that they have been doing in order to humiliate you, to make you hurt, to feel you have no power, you are no one. And this is how they treat it. It's not maybe me, it's maybe everybody got the same treatment. But for me, I didn't understand the culture. I didn't understand the language. They could do anything for me. I had no one to ask for. I had nothing. You are just, you feel like you are powerless. You have nothing. You know, it's important to note that when you spend a long time in captivity, you forget what the word human rights anymore. You forget that you have any right, and then they take all the rights away from you. And when after a while, when I became with other people in the same cell, we start the people that they give us very minor things. They let us see the sun a little longer every day. They say, oh, they are so nice. You know, they forget that we have any rights. So anything they give you, if they give you a piece of chocolate, you think that they gave you something very important because you are deprived of everything. So once you are there, you forget that there is something called the human right. You forget everything. You just become when I was there, I was just hoping and wishing I used to train some horses, and although I felt every day I wish I was a horse and I was treated like a horse with me. Well, for me, my experience was specifically with the Revolutionary Guard and the IRGC. And in fact, they do that. It's a practice. It's a business. You can tell from day one that they took me, it was a business that they are doing. So now they have one person that they want to exchange with the world. They want me to say that I am American or I work with the American intelligence or something, so they can exchange me. Even though there is nothing, I have never worked with any government, with anything, but for them it's good. So let's take one more person, and they are treating us as a hostage. That's all what they do. They don't do anything. They treat you as a hostage from day one. They even ask me, call people that you know in the US, tell them that you are here. Maybe we can exchange you. Maybe we can make favors and release you from day one. This is what they want. They wanted from day one to have a negotiation with the US about me. Well, Iran started, the Revolutionary Guard started right after signing the JCPOA in July 2015. They started again the practice of hostage taking. In fact, they never stopped. Since 40 years ago, they have been doing this. And this hostage diplomacy has been so successful for the Revolutionary Guard. They have been doing it for 40 years and they're still doing it, and they will not change. I don't think they will change now. Uh, and they did it for me, they did for everybody, and now they're picking it up again and more frequency. They are winning. So because the West and the whole world is not standing together, each one is negotiating on their own, and that's why the Revolutionary Guard will stay winning. They are winning this, and they're gonna stay winning. They will not lose as long as the West is acting separately and the IRGC is playing every country. The IRGC play UK one day, they play Canada one day, they negotiate with each country together, and each country go back door. They think that they have a special relations, they can do special things, which is wrong. Because it is not. I want to make sure it's not these countries who are setting the policies and the rules. In fact, it's the IRGC who's doing it. And they decide, the IRGC, today we want to cooperate with Canada. We will release a Canadian. Tomorrow we'll release a French. And they're playing with these countries. So these countries, it's about time to stand up together, as well as the United Nations has to be very firm toward hostage taking. It cannot keep. We are global citizens, and it's the responsibility of the United Nations and the Secretary General to protect us. And this is what he's not doing so far. And it's his task. And I would like all of the hostages to stand up together and request from the United Nations to take a firm and very public policy toward hostage taking and be outspoken about it. It's not any time we all about secret diplomacy, secret negotiation. It's enough. In Iran, the court is part. It's in fact, you go with the kashi now, with the interrogator. Is the interrogator who deal with this? There is no court system. There is no judiciary. You go to Salawati. It's the Salawati and your interrogator are one. Whatever the interrogator will say, Judge Salawati will say. And this is it's a game. It's a game. It's not. There is no judiciary. There is nothing. There's just a game played by the IRGC. They take you. You sit in front of a judge who haven't read even your file. They start laughing all together. We were being used like tools, like nothing. This is ridiculous. It's becoming ridiculous. They think they are fooling the world. No, they're not fooling us. We all know they are acting as terrorists. We all know that Salawati is a terrorist. It doesn't need anybody to explain this to us. Now, what we need to know, what the world should do about this. So what is the world ready to do? What is the United Nations really willing to do? And this is important. We want the United Nations to take a firm stand. We want the US to cooperate with Europe, to cooperate with Australia, to cooperate with all these countries. Every country on its own is suffering at a certain time from this hostage-taking policies of the Revolutionary Guard. And it's about time that all these countries stand together and to impose on the UN to take serious action against hostage taking. You don't spend time with your lawyer or anything. The lawyer is more scared than you. He is like, they look at the lawyer. The lawyer is scared. He doesn't know how to come, how to go. You speak, he tell you hush hush. The first lawyer I met, I had a lawyer. It was hilarious. He told me I had a lawyer after being approved because you cannot choose a lawyer. The judge has to approve the lawyer you have. And the lawyer I had, he told me, it's okay. Imam Kazim, I get Sadiq, spent 14 years in jail. It's no problem. You can spend time in jail. I said, what does this has to do with this? My lawyer is more worried than even the judge. I cannot. It's not. There is no legal. This for my Tajdid Nazar, for my appeal. I wanted a paper to write on it what I had. They couldn't give me a paper. I haven't seen the lawyer. I haven't seen anything. I wrote it on a piece of a napkin toilet paper. I wrote my defense on a toilet paper. I hid it with me. I went to court. I gave them the papers, the toilet paper. Everybody was angry, but even the judge put it on the side, like nothing, not important, even my defense. I wrote something. I told them one word in my defense. I told one word. They claim it's an Islamic Sharia, right, in Iran. So in Islamic Sharia, there is one basic condition: al-bayyina ala al-mudda'i. It means the proof is on the burden of proving things is on the who accuse you. It's not on the defendant. He has to prove that he's innocent. It's on the who accuse you should prove that you're guilty. And I told them, give me one bayyina, one proof that I am guilty. He has to show. No, you have to prove something that I cannot. Something like they tell me you did the revolution in Ukraine. I have never been to Ukraine in my life. What can I say? I don't know any Ukrainian person in my life. So how can you defend yourself? It is very important for us to. We have been since I was taken, at least for my families and for everyone. They have been telling them whenever you are taken hostage, stay quiet, don't talk about it. It's better for the hostage not to speak. And after 1 year, we say, okay, he's still in prison, nothing happened, and nobody talked about you. For us, for hostages, is the most important thing for the world to speak about you. Half of your pain is coming from inside the prison, and the other half is coming from outside of the prison. And this is so important that outside people speak. And for me, when I was there, it was very important for me to hear people talking about me. So we gathered all the families and in order to cooperate and to stop sometimes government and others try to tell us to ask us to stay sometime sometime families and they ask us to stay the government tell us to stay quiet, not to talk. So for me to bring everybody together in order to speak out and to talk about what's going on and to speak one voice globally and ask all governments to act together toward hostages is a really key thing, and this is what we're doing all together now. As long and we are supported also by former hostages like Jason Razayan, me, and others, and Saeed Abedini and other hostages. Well, it's about time. You cannot have someone like Foreign Minister Zarif. Whenever you talk to him, he say, "I have no power," and then I have no power to do anything. And at the same time, advocating and promoting the policy and speaking on behalf of IRGC in order for hostage to release hostages. It's very hypocrite. So, but I feel that today, for the first time, we are telling Mr. Zarif, if you are against this, or of President Rouhani, if you are against hostage taking, resign, do something about it, or resign. You cannot just stay quiet and say that you are against it, because you are not against it. You are part of it. You are as much as a criminal as the people who are taking the hostages. So you have to do something about it, and it's time that the whole world do something about it, especially in Iran. And these sanctions. It's very clear message to the Iranian government and the presidency that nobody is safe from sanctions as long as you are not doing something very clear about it. For me, Mr. Rouhani in his press conference, he mentioned that they did a gesture by releasing me. How is it a gesture by releasing me? Since you invited me, and there is a statement by the vice president, Mrs. Mullaverdi, saying that it was a mistake taking Nizar hostage, and she made it public. How, if it's a mistake, now you do a favor by releasing me? It's contradiction. Or I am a hostage, or I'm not. Or I have done something wrong, or I haven't. But how can you say I haven't done anything wrong, and it's a mistake to take me, and then you say you are making a favor a good gesture by releasing me. It's two contradiction, Mr. Rouhani. And please stand up to what you're saying. And another issue you said, and yeah, you keep on promoting the hostage taking by negotiating on behalf and releasing. You should. Hostage is an act. It's a criminal act. It's an act of state terrorism. Or you are against, or you are with. This gray area, it's enough. We cannot handle it, and the world will not handle it anymore. The European, you cannot have Mrs. Mogherini going to Iran taking selfies in the parliament, in the Iranian parliament, where there is a European citizen hostage in Iran. This is very wrong. The international community have the all to stand all together and take one single stand all together, same, no difference, no say America, until the hostage issue is finished once for all. Otherwise, we are releasing a hostage. They're going to take tomorrow another one. They will take tomorrow another one. It's a system. So unless these countries will stand and be very, very firm and take really serious sanction against Iran and ask and lobby the international community to have a UN resolution, to have other countries all to stand together in order to be very, very firm against Iran. Cooperate with other families. All together, you have more power. Don't think each one individually will do a better job. You have to be all together, be very solid, stand together toward governments, have one position. The same thing toward Iran, against Iran. You have to stand all together. And I advise everybody not to speak out, speak out, speak out. Don't stay quiet. Name and shame for hostage taking. It's an act of state terrorism. You have to name it as it is. It's an act of state terrorism, nothing less. It's exactly when the IRGC is taking hostage, it's almost exactly like when ISIS is taking hostage. They have to stop this. It has to be stopped once for all. One of the news agency in Iran that is close, that is in line with the IRGC, with SEPA, announced that I will be freed, and based on the request of the Lebanese president. And I was sent, and a few days later they came, they took me to the IRGC, took me away from the prison and took me to a mall. They bought for me a carpet and they say, we apologize for what we did for you. You have to forgive us. I went to the airport. I find the head of security of Lebanon, and then Mr. Abbas Ibrahim, I fly with him to Beirut. I was received by the president of Lebanon, being a Lebanese citizen and have never committed any crime against anyone in this world. And I was received by him, and then I flew back to the US, where I have my offices and my home.